YouTube, how we doing? PPS here, past the prop, week 4. We have week 4 recap. We have Monday Night Football, 2-gamer again. So super exciting stuff. Joined by Stu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Got 2 games today. Can't complain about that. Obviously, I like the doubleheader, especially when we don't expect either game to be great. It's kind of like you can pick and choose, which if we just had like Miami tonight, or if we just even had obviously the Bengals as big underdogs, it might just be one of those nights where you could probably turn it off at halftime. But at least having 2 games at once gives us a little bit more action to watch and obviously a little bit more to bet on as well.
Yeah, dude, there's again, we have to watch this Bengals offense try to do stuff with Browning at the helm here. Obviously, it'd be a good game if it wasn't. We didn't have to deal with that, but yeah, we'll get into those games here shortly. But let's kind of talk about this week. Obviously, it was a crazy week. What stood out to you even if you want to just talk Washington, if you want to talk anything, either way, where do you want to go to talk about how the week went?
Yeah, I can start with Washington. Obviously, like we kind of talked about, their defense just fucking sucks, and it's just like the Falcons were like the most obvious bounce back spot of all time. That box score makes it look closer than it was. The game was never really that close from the jump. Washington wasn't really in it. Hopefully Daniels is back next week. Unfortunately, I don't think Terry is back, and that's kind of what I'm more worried about. They got no wide receivers right now. We got Jalen Lane and Luke McCaffrey out there next to Deebo Samuel. So a little bit scary. They played the Chargers. I don't know how they're supposed to win that game, but we'll see what happens. But definitely one I'm a little bit scared about. But I guess what else stuck out? I don't want to complain about my bets. Panthers, that was kind of an ugly one right there. There were a couple blowouts. Browns as well. I had Flacco 200 passing yards, got benched at 180 something or whatever at the end. Just some real ugly games in that early slate for sure.
Yeah, dude, it was definitely interesting in some of those games. Obviously, my Packers getting a tie was not on my bingo card for the week. So that was kind of wild. But it was interesting week for me. Obviously, I have Malik Neighbors in my big league this year, so that sucks. Especially after they get the win too. So that's kind of like, oh, you get the win, but now you're probably not going to win another game for months or so. So, that kind of sucks to see a young guy like that go down. You don't want to see any of those big time dudes kind of go down in that way.
Yeah, I bet on Neighbors this week, so that was obviously a bummer. Got some bad injury luck going, unfortunately. A couple guys missed some drives as well, but that's the NFL. Guys get injured, unfortunately. Neighbors has kind of been one of the most injury-prone. Like, even he didn't get hurt that much last year, but he was questionable every single week. Like, there was the lingering issues, and he's also kind of a smaller guy as well. So it's just unfortunate. It's the side effect of the great sport that we love to bet on all the time is it's a violent sport. And even worse when you see those kind of non-contact ones, right? When you turn the ankle the wrong way, something like that, an ACL, because those are normally the ones that mean it's out for the year. So you could kind of tell with his reaction on the field there that it was done. And like you said, what do the Giants do from here now? That offense, like they looked ugly. They got the win. Shout out to them. The defense deserves a lot of credit, honestly. Herbert looked awful. As someone that bet on him, that was a pretty rough watch. But yeah, I don't know. Scatterbo, I guess just 25 carries at a time is going to be the game plan going forward, because who are you throwing it to? Wendell's only going 3 yards at a time. Slayton is, if that's your number one target, you're in trouble. I don't know. Maybe my boy Jalen Hyatt is going to come back from dust, but who knows?
Yeah, dude, I have no words for that. I think they're just kind of useless the rest of the year, to be honest. Why don't you just sell it to stop the run, and then you're pretty much golden. I think Dart, even in that win, I think had 10 yards, 100 passing yards in that game. So yeah, that was interesting there. But let's get to a quick recap. I have, not our best showing, but I can start in my game here. My first one, I took the L on Cooper here. I really thought we were going to get this, bro. He missed a couple open tackles in the gap. Javonte Williams made a miss twice. there. But I talked on the show. It was between him and Quay Walker on guys that I was going to bet, and then Quay Walker ends up with 14 tackles. So when you have a guy with 8 or 14 tackles, 9 solos, like, it's going to be one of them. There's going to be one of them. I think Cooper ended up with 7. I think the only thing that sucks about these defensive ones are when they take away them, and I'm like, oh, damn, he's at 8, and then it goes down to 7, and I'm like, damn, one down to having to have 2 makes things a lot harder as a defensive guy, I bet. So, yeah, tough one there, but, crazy game.
Yeah, I mean, I had some Cooper as well. Just kind of a non-factor, honestly, for the first time this year. I mean, even in general, the Packers' defense looked pretty bad. I mean, not bad, but just like not dominance like we saw earlier in the year. So it was interesting. I don't know. I mean, Dak is playing at a high level right now. It's kind of hard to tell who's more to blame. Is it like the Packers defense regressing, or is Dak just a lot better than people are giving him credit for right now? Because even in their losses, I mean, in the 2 tougher defenses in the league, obviously with the Eagles week 1, big underdogs, they came in and he looked good. And same thing with the Packers here in prime time. So it was an interesting one. I'm curious what the Packers keep looking like going forward as well. They need some offensive help back, I think, as well. My boy Jaden Reed, we need him back healthy in there.
Yeah, the fact that you're rolling with Dobbs trying to be the number 1 option is really tough.
Only in the red zone. Only in the red zone.
Watson being out, not even to do anything but just stretch the defense there.
Yeah.
Because my boy Dontavian Wicks still has brick hands. I know he had a big catch yesterday, but still, I will definitely say he's got those brick hands. In Golden, you can still see kind of working into those types of sets, but Josh Jacobs doing what he does, and so takes that one. I took that one on the chin there, but shout out to your Commanders here for my second one, and that was Drake London. That was a first halfer. That was nice. I took in my group, I sent out 2 guys to lead the slate, and it was Puka and Drake London. And I'm sitting there. I made it through the first round. Drake London was the number 1 receiver for all games after the Ireland game. And I'm chilling. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. That one was like 15-1. And I obviously also had a bet on Puka. And then Puka ends up going for like, what, 190 or whatever it was. Stupid numbers. But that one was only like plus 500. So that one was unfortunate to lose on those. But, Drake London looked awesome. They finally threw him the fucking ball. The first 2 drives, nothing. And I'm like, okay, well, are we really going to do this again? And they couldn't get anything going. They kept trying to run the ball 8 times up the middle. And then, you start targeting him, and he makes all those contested catches. It's like, this probably will work if you just keep force-feeding some of your best players. So, obviously, London had a huge game. Bijan had a huge game. Even Pitts got himself into the end zone. So, it was a good performance there from Atlanta.
Yeah, they were just picking and choosing, just kind of marching down the field, not much resistance. And whenever there was like a third down, London was just around, and Washington didn't really have the corners to match up. I just hope they keep feeding him, because London, when you get him like 8 to 10 targets a game, he can be like an absolute beast. I don't know. I don't still have a lot of confidence in Penix. Like I expected him to bounce back and look good. But that last performance is still in my mind as well against another kind of lackluster defense. So I'm curious how he handles a step up in confidence or in at least talent, because the confidence is up, and that's good. You need confidence. Washington's kind of a confidence-building defense, but now can you go out there and actually beat a better team? It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and then we get to talk about the Giants, man. The Giants, I absolutely just beat the piss out of them, dude. I know it ended up close at the end, but again, I kind of felt like they were down way more than what they were. I feel like the Chargers really, I know at that one point where they threw the touchdown to Quentin Johnson, I'm like, oh, they're here, but it just didn't really feel like they were actually in the game, So obviously Herbert, I think, he was a little over 200, right?
Yeah, it was just an ugly one. Like a couple of big Hampton runs kind of broke off explosive plays that took some passing opportunities away. But, I mean, 2 uncharacteristic interceptions. Obviously, that's going to be a drive killer right there. The biggest thing is obviously Joe Alt. You lose Joe Alt, you don't throw downfield anymore. So after the first quarter, it's just check down, check down, check down. We had one Johnston down the field catch, like you said. and then one at the very end as well. But yeah, just they couldn't throw the ball down the field with the O-line problems there. And it's hard to go check down at a time, So shout out to the Giants. They played well. It was an ugly one. I watched a lot of the game. But yeah, Herbert did not look good and obviously did not end up particularly close to this one either.
Yeah, and I mean, it's crazy because, Ladd had 1 catch, 6 targets. Keenan Allen, I think, only had like 4 for 30. So I was just like, that's not going to work. I think they just need to figure this shit out, man, because you're not going to be able to throw these balls down the field at Quentin Johnson when you're getting that type of pressure. He was just chucking them up there. Obviously, Joe Alt being out for any period of time is kind of going to fuck you over because that's obviously a very, very good offensive lineman to have to fill. But kind of have to expect him to, kind of go back to what they did last year a little bit because obviously Ladd not being involved at all. He's a third fiddle right now, which is wild. But obviously Keenan Allen taking a lot of those targets on the intermediate side. But, I mean, dude, I think Hampton looked really good. I think outside of, I think he had, 2 big plays, and then the rest of them were kind of, just 2-yard, 3-yard dunks at a time. So curious how long that'll last there for them trying to, be a run team again where, those first couple of weeks they looked really good through the air.
Yeah, it's just tough. Obviously, when you lose your best offensive lineman before the season starts and then now your second best one, it's early in the year like that, it's hard to just buy your quarterback enough time, and it's just easier to kind of trust the running game there. Like I said, with Washington, they're a pretty unserious defense, so Herbert might still have time next week. They couldn't really get pressure, but I'm curious if they just go a lot of Hampton as well, or if we see just a kind of a Falcons type performance where everyone just eats, because that's also on the table as well.
Yeah, you think they got to get Ladd going here soon, dude? I think he's got 5 catches, 6 catches all year right now, or something like that. Bottom out last week with 1 catch for 10 yards. So we'll see. We'll see what they decide to do because that offense looked horrible yesterday. And talk about the Bills. The Bills had one here with Juwan Johnson. We'll talk about him in a second here. But my God, they just stayed around, dude. They just stayed around that whole game. Very surprising.
Yeah, I mean, Johnson was pretty solid. He's another guy that missed some time early, obviously with injury, missed a couple of drives. Jack Stoll went out and stole a catch from him. But yeah, I mean, just the whole thing with the Saints was like the pace, the time of possession, and the attempts and stuff. They were just like they ran a lot of plays, and this week they just kind of got dominated. A couple bad sacks from Rattler. They just couldn't really get any drives going. So Johnson was kind of live all game. He had a good first half, and then they just barely did anything at all in the second half and could barely hold on to the ball at all. So unfortunate with Juwan Johnson, just really didn't get – there wasn't much passing volume at all to go around.
Yeah, I think Rattler had 9 completions, 10 completions maybe?
Like 14, but I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of those I think were in that last drive because when I looked at it, he had 20 pass attempts. And it was pretty wild. But we'll give you your shouts here, Stu. You got the Jags right. Obviously, we're both very happy with the Jags getting that W. Obviously, for your future bet and mine as well. Shout out to Liam Cohen, man. Get up in that face of fucking Salas. All talking shit, bro. I thought that was hilarious.
That thing's weird. I don't know.
That was funny, bro.
I don't even want to be on either side. What are these guys doing? It seems so unserious. Cohen's talking about Salah illegal sign stealing, whatever the fuck that. What does that even mean?
No, I think Salah said he was stealing. He said,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Salah was saying that Cohen was stealing signs in other games, I guess.
It's what the fuck does that even mean? I don't know.
You do it.
It's just such a random complaint. And then beefing after the game. I don't know. It seems very weird. There are a couple unserious coach moments this week. There's the Ben Johnson reporter one where he kind of snapped at the reporter for no fucking reason at all. The guy seems like a dick. It's not even
He seems like a douche. He's a giant douche.
It's just why are you acting like that? I get it's a football game. Every coach does these interviews. None of them are assholes. What's your problem? Your team's not playing that well. She's like, what do you need to change? And dude just gets pissed off. Very weird moment. I feel like he stamped himself at the bottom of the list of coaches you'd want to grab a beer with. I think he's got to be bottom no matter what after that moment. But I guess we'll see if anyone can pass him this year.
Yeah, I mean, kind of fits. Like I feel like some of those Bears fans kind of give you that dick vibe. So it's like, oh, okay, maybe it'll work. But yeah, I thought it was funny with the whole Saleh Cohen thing because I'm like, I saw Saleh just flip, but he waited till all of the people got between him before he flipped. I'm like, are you really afraid of Cohen, bro? Like this dude's like a skinny dude. Like
I felt like they were both doing that though. They're both like talking from behind people. Like from the clip I saw, it's like, what are we doing, guys? You guys are grown men. Like let's chill out a little bit here. But also, I think I saw someone say that the backstory was like Saleh could have been the Jags coach this year as well. Like he was in final consideration, but then Cohen, who people thought was going to go back to the Bucs, right? Like that was what was reported initially, then ghosted the Bucs and last minute took the job. So people are like, oh, maybe he took the job from Saleh and that's why he's pissed at him, which if that is how it went would be kind of fucking hilarious and a great backstory.
Yeah. Hey, well, the Jags got the win, so we love to see that. And then obviously the Panthers got absolutely fucking throttled. So, they got throttled. I think they had like 2 special teams touchdowns in that game. And I think another defensive return to like the 5 or something. So yeah, they absolutely got smoked. But we got 2 games today. We have an update here. We're at minus 3.14. Obviously, that takes down. Yeah, I mean, I would very much disagree with what you were putting in the chat, Foods, but it's all right. They had to get a block kick against the worst offensive line in the entire NFL to get the W there. I thought they were going to lose as well. And I got to get my one my one rant out of the way here. All these teams that just fucking trying to play it safe and think like a 50-yard field goal is going to happen every game and that these guys are going to make them. Why aren't we going for fucking touchdowns, bro? That's why I was like I didn't want the Rams to win, but the Rams went for the fucking jugular and took them out, right? They're like, we're not just going to wait and trust our field goal kicker to make a 30-yarder. We're just going to punch you in the mouth, get up 7, and then you're fucked. Like, you got to respect that, dude. I respect that. I was just like, my God, dude. I've been getting tired of these, dude. I've been getting tired of these guys just like, okay, we're going to run the clock out. But a lot of times it doesn't work, and then you're just screwed. I know you're trying to make sure the other guy doesn't get the ball, but I don't know, dude. That's multiple times I've seen that over these first couple of weeks, and it just kind of bites people.
Yeah, no one likes that conservative kind of play style there of just, we'll play it out, hope our field goal kicker can bail us out. Like, you pay your quarterback. If you're a bad team, then sure. But if you're like a mid-level team or above and you got any semblance, like, yeah, go for it. Like you said, try to win the football game, and if not, then you can hope that the field goal can save you. But yeah, why are we relying? There's a couple kickers, obviously your Aubreys of the world, like those kind of guys, whatever. Yeah, sure, we trust you. You're gonna get the job done. Shout out Chase. McLaughlin, is that his name? My fantasy kicker. Like I said, guys, every year I never draft a kicker. You just pick a guy up off the waiver wire and they're fucking cooking. This guy's like crushing for me this weekend, last week. And then the other one I got is Harrison Butker, who's also knocking down 50-yarders. So that's the thing. If you don't get those top like 2 kickers, just wait and pick a guy up off your waiver wire, because all these guys are pretty similar, and you'll see after like 2-3 weeks who the good ones are.
Yeah, dude, I'm just tired of watching those. Like, these people just playing the like, you're to the 30-yard line. Okay, let's just run the ball into the middle. Let's do all this shit. Dude, I get it. People are hitting 60-yarders, but, like, that is not just a casual thing to happen. And then we saw the Rams have that happen last week where they give up the field goal that they get a return for a touchdown on them. All this crazy shit's been happening. A lot of block kicks. Because obviously the Packers would have won last night if they didn't allow the blocked extra point, right? I mean, that's 3 points. It's a 3-point swing there. So, yeah, dude, I think that I just had to make sure I get that out there because I was getting tired of watching let's just dinky run 2-yard runs to the left side because our kicker likes it there. Or let's fucking go for it, dude. Let's go for the fucking jugular and get these guys out. Because a lot of those teams that do that are the ones that are obviously doing very, very well. So, all right, Stu, we're on to today. We have 2 games. First game is going to be the Jets at the Dolphins. We have a 44.5. I believe both games are 44.5 total. We have the Dolphins, I believe, if I remember correctly, have just moved now to -3 on DraftKings as of right now on the sportsbook there. So, it's moving. I'll kick it over to you. We'll get started on this show and we'll get it rolling here. So, what are your thoughts on this game? And then which one of the 4 sides over under or spreads are you looking at here?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. An early season primetime game where both teams suck, right? I mean, that's fun. I mean, I think for me, I'm going to take the Jets side here, especially as dogs to Miami. I think at 3, I was thinking 2.5 would be where it'd stay, honestly. I didn't think it would get to 3, but if books are really going to do that, I think that's a pretty solid price here. At the end of the day, the biggest problem with this is neither of these teams really play defense very well. Like the Jets, you kind of that was their calling card with Saleh, and then he was fired, and then it really dropped off. And I think people were kind of hoping, including myself, that they would be at least like a mid-level defense, but they're just a bad defense. Like they're not even in the 15-ish range. They're like a 25th best defense. So that's obviously a big concern when you're a run-heavy team on offense, because if your defense is getting crushed, then it's going to be harder to maintain your game plan on the ground. But in close games, right, in games where they're projected within a field goal, the Dolphins' offense can be good, but is it consistently good? No. I think the Jets can probably play their style of football. I think they can run the ball. I think they can do what they want to do, and I think they can keep it within reasonable range. We've only seen Fields obviously forced to throw it kind of in a serious way in a close game once this year against Pittsburgh, and he was good. Obviously, the game where they got their ass beat by a better team in the Bills, that was expected, but this is a step back down in competition. So do I think Fields is going to air it out through the air? No. Could he? Maybe. I mean, like, the secondary is really bad. Like, once again, the guys that I came in trying to target week 1 are now injured as well. Like Storm Duck, Marshall Jr., like those guys were bad and starters week 1. Those guys are already out. So we're in the depth category already. So the question is who on the Jets can take advantage. I would bet nobody else besides Garrett Wilson. Like, man, if you want to bet Josh Reynolds, good luck. Like, I see a lot of people on Mason Taylor. I see where you're coming from because he plays a lot of snaps and he's out there. But I don't know. There's some good coach speak this week, but the dude is not involved in the offense at all. So why would I want to bet on that guy? Like, for me, it would just be Garrett Wilson or bust through the air, in my opinion. So I don't know. It's an ugly game, 2 ugly teams, but I'll take the field goal dog when I don't trust any of these guys to really separate themselves. And the Dolphins, it's Tua turn the ball over. You know, it's always going to come out once or twice a game, and I think the Jets can probably take advantage even with their kind of shitty defense.
Yeah, I kind of like what you said about the defensive side there. I'm going to probably be leaning a little bit more towards the over in this game, if anything. Obviously, there's the turnover aspect from Tua. Obviously, you can see that on that side of the field. You also have Fields' ability to make big plays with his legs and through the air. Obviously, Garrett Wilson, one of the best, in those 50-50 balls. He's been really, really good at those, even though he's not that big. He's not that big, but he's very good with contested catches. And obviously, I love me some Breece Hall, as always. I'm always just been a big fan of him. And then you got my boy from the Badgers, Braylon Allen. So I think this would be a good game. I think if I had to bet a side, I'd probably lean a little bit more towards the Jets. But, Achane on that side, it's just been pretty much just the safety blanket of all safety blankets there, because Tyreek has been, more in that 10 to 15 yard range for those catches. So I really like that over. I think that would be kind of where I would lean, rather than having to, put my faith in a side, because both these teams can easily fuck up at any point in the game. Obviously, that happens when you're an 0-3 team. So someone's getting out of the dumps here. So. Stu, I'll kick it over to you. I know you have a bet in this game, and I have a little bit of it. I got half my bet. I got one on each side. So I'll kick it over to you to take it away and talk about the guy we just mentioned.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll go over to my bets, give the show a little retweet. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the comments right now. Game 1 of 2, obviously. And yeah, this is my favorite spot in this game. I like Justin Fields over 45.5 rush yards. I played anywhere to like the 50-ish, 48 range. It's kind of been ping-ponging around over these last hours, like kind of bet up and down. So just anywhere in that range is good with me. But yeah, I think there's some clear negative here that I want to start with. Obviously, he's coming back off a concussion. In general, when players are coming off of injuries, or I mean, quarterbacks are coming in off concussions, they just see a general downtick in production, like not specific to rushing, just in general. First game back from concussion, you normally do see that just over a large sample size. And I think that could lead to a decrease in designed runs, which is not something you particularly want when you're betting an over, right? Because with quarterback rushing props, there's two kind of quarterbacks. There's scramble guys, right, which are generally the lower numbers in the 20s. You know, your kind of Mahomes, your Herberts. They don't get a ton of designed rushes, but they rely on scrambles. And then you get to this next kind of elite level of rushing quarterback, right? And that's when you're actually getting a healthy level of designed runs. And Field is a guy that can see upwards of 8 designed runs in a competitive game. We saw that week 1. The question is just how comfortable are they kind of letting him loose in this game after an injury. One, I'll say it's a primetime game against a division rival. It's a game that definitely matters a lot. He was cleared to play and he's healthy. And at the end of the day, these guys are football players. They're professional athletes. They're going to put their health at risk. Two, Justin Fields does not have a very safe job, as we all know. I mean, he's always kind of on the hot seat right there, which is a little bit of extra motivation to kind of put your body on the line. But the most important thing besides those two is for me that really sticks out the most. The reason that I played this is I do think he could go over this number with legitimately just like 1 or 2 designed runs. Like with the way Miami plays defense and really the lack of options outside of Garrett Wilson. Once again, I like to game plan around props where like everything kind of bad happens. Like Garrett Wilson has his 100-yard receiving game, right? Garrett Wilson goes off. He has a couple deep balls, has a great game. I still don't think that's enough to scare me away from Fields in this game, like at all. Like I think when you look at this rushing attack, they want to run the ball. They want to be the lowest pass rate over expectation team in football. That means Fields is going to at least be somewhat involved at a baseline level in the rushing attack. But out of the 3 backs on their team, he's the only guy that also will get a heavy dose of designed rushes if they're trailing. Because you know how we talked about that Jets' awful defense early? I think Miami can score points in this game. And the 44.5 total says so too, because Miami in the past has been involved in some pretty heavy total games. Not so much this year. So you're kind of seeing them finally get a little bit of market respect. A lot of that is because we've learned the Jets defense is not good. So if Miami can score points and the Jets are in a trailing game script, then suddenly Breece Hall isn't getting all those carries. You're not even bringing in Allen because he's not a threat in the receiving game. Okay, a Fields drop back. Oh no, blitz. And guess what? We have scrambles. Because Miami blitzes at one of the highest rates in the league this year. They're not a particularly good defense in terms of tackling either. And I just think that's going to create chaos. Fields is not good at getting through progressions. He's not a very refined passer. And when he sees the blitz, when he sees pressure in his face, I think he's going to be off to the races. So I like the opportunity here. I see Bobby in the chat say, why not just bet longest rush? I think longest rush is in play for sure. But also Miami is a very heavy too high safety defense as well. They play that at a top 8 rate. So kind of in my head, the way I'm looking at it, I see a lot of those like 8 to 12 yard, like first down kind of scrambles where the safety comes up. He forces Fields out of bounds and he sneaks the ball over the first down. I do think longest rush is a good look. I don't have anything against it, but guess what? If he's healthy, and the market is underreacting to the stuff. He just comes back. He looks pretty good. He gets his normal usage. Then we're also going to see Fields deployed 4 or 5 times in short yardage situations as well. So I like the balance. I like having those explosive run opportunities. And then I like also being able to capitalize on a possible floor of, design touches that could be in the playbook. We're just not positive about it. But I like to highlight kind of the worst of what could happen and still kind of paint a path to victory for it. And I think Fields just has a lot of different ways of going over. So yeah, I got faith in Fields to kind of do what he does best, which is scramble, get out of the pocket and escape and kind of fend for his life out there. And I think we're going to see plenty of that against a Miami team that's going to be blitzing him like crazy, trying to make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, the tough part is you just talked about not having a ton of designed runs, which I think is obviously something that we should probably talk about here. When it's a 14.5 juice to the over, like that's a pretty healthy carry, dude. And you have an 8.5 rush attempt line for them. So getting 45 yards. I mean, I think he'll get a couple of chunk runs, obviously really good in those short distances as well. I don't know. I kind of feel like I do lean a little bit more with your spot here versus the longest rush because 14 and a half, like for a quarterback with maybe one or two designed carries, and you're kind of relying on more breakdowns on a passing game. I just don't know if they're going to have, a ton of time, like you mentioned with the blitz, for those, DBs and the backers to get back far enough for him to be, with an untouched 15-yard carry, So I'm assuming, and this is just me assuming somebody is smarter than me over there. This dude was literally just out for, 2 games with a concussion? You're probably sliding, bro. 1 game? Probably sliding. Right, you probably ain't doing what normal Justin Fields does, putting the shoulder down and trying to get that extra 1 or 2. Right, you're all right. 10-yard carry, get on the ground, and let's get to the next one. Right, hoping. Yeah, I don't know. The Jets are 0-3. I don't know what they talk about in those meetings. I don't know if it's smart or whatever. But I definitely want to prioritize the guy you just brought in's health over an extra 2 or 3 yards fighting for those. So just my 2 cents on those. The concussion bowl game. Yeah.
I'll say the final thing I have against longest plays in general, and I like playing those markets a lot, obviously, is that I just think they're more game script dependent. Like when you kind of narrow it down to a long, you're kind of narrowing the ways that you can win. And I think Fields has multiple different ways he can win. And obviously going over the longest rush is a part of a good amount of them, and I think that makes it a good bet for that reason. But also like the Jets, I think are one of the teams that can get blown out easier than any team in football. And even if they're just trailing in general, and you see teams like Miami who already play a lot of these more conservative 2 high shells, like I think those 7-yard rushes at a time, if they're losing, are going to be there, where the Miami defense sucks, but they're like, yeah, take your 5 yards at a time. We're winning this game by 10 points right now. Garrett Wilson's double covered, and this is all you really know how to do. So just take your, 6-7 yards at a time. I think that's very live if the Jets go down early in this one. They can't get their rushing game going, which is a possibility as well. So it's interesting. 2 bad teams, a lot of fun stuff can happen. I try to leave as many options open, but I might, now that we've talked it through, toss a couple bucks on longest rush as well, because I obviously like the upside that creates. And whenever a team blitzes like that and the chaos is there, that's going to give you an opportunity to get out of the pocket.
Yes, sir. I will talk about, maybe I'll just wait. I'll wait till we get to the next game because I have, a split parlay here. We'll just talk about the next game first, and then I'll talk about mine. Because obviously the side in the next game is going to be a little bit less juice than the one I have here on HN here. So I have a bet here on HN with this next game. But we'll get over to that one. If you guys have any other questions, make sure you drop them in the chat. We have 51 of you guys here joining us over on YouTube. We appreciate you joining us on your Monday afternoon. As always, if you could, hit that like button for us. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. We have more games to talk about, obviously, throughout the year here. So we have a huge game for us, huge game, ramifications for your boy on Thursday night as well, with San Francisco traveling to the Rams, I believe. Yeah. So that's a huge game for me. And obviously, Stu, I saw the Rams are 6-point favorites, but hey, we'll get to there talking Thursday. So let's kick it over to game number 2. We have the Bengals traveling to Denver. Tough spot for Jake Browning and the boys here. -7.5 right now. The Broncos juice a little bit more towards 7.5, more towards them. So we might even see this move to 8 soon. But the over-under's at 44.5. Stu, talk me off of just betting the Broncos. I know I just can't trust this team. I don't know if I'm just overreacting to that Vikings game last week. That was such a horrible, horrible attempt at playing football. But my God, dude. Browning looked horrible, looked really gun-shy in there. And now you have, a high-end number 1 receiver like Jamar Chase probably getting the Surtain treatment. This is a tough spot, especially with that offensive line giving Chase Brown literally nothing.
Yeah, I'm curious what they do with Surtain, because if you put him on if you put him on Chase, you have nobody for Higgins. Like Riley Moss on Higgins would be a huge mismatch. So maybe I don't know. We saw it with the Colts as well, where Alec Pierce was the guy that was benefiting, right? He kind of Surtain went like back and forth a little bit, but I mean, taking out Pittman kind of led to that a little bit more. He did guard Pierce as well a little bit, so maybe we see Surtain just kind of go back and forth. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I really don't like any of these. Like, I don't like either side. I don't really like the total. Like, I don't know. I think the Bengals, we kind of saw their floor last week, obviously. We saw, I would say, a game that would be similar to the Dolphins week 1 game, right, where the Dolphins turned the ball over on like 5 of their first 6 possessions or whatever. So, like, how could you possibly understand anything about a team when that's the way they start? You're just digging yourself in a hole immediately, and there's no way to win a game like that. We have a solid sample size of Jake Browning in the past coming in and being a pretty solid replacement level backup quarterback. So can he get back to that level? The problem is, well, you go from a quarterback's worst nightmare to another quarterback's worst nightmare. If you were going to Washington, I'd be in on the Jake Browning train this week. I'd probably have a bet on him. I'd probably have multiple. I'm 100% serious, but you're not. You're going from a top 5 defense to a top 5 defense. So it's like, where's the get right opportunity? That's kind of where I struggle. Like, the Broncos are good everywhere, good pass rush, good secondary, good linebacker core, good safeties. They brought in a couple 49ers, Hufunga and Greenlaw, who I love. Just a really balanced defense. So I have to imagine the Bengals would look better. I mean, it's almost impossible to not look better than you did last week. But their offensive line is fucking awful, which means they can't run the ball. And I talk about it like 3 times a week. I hate these teams that can't run the ball at all. You can't even threaten to run the ball because we all know what you're going to do. So I just have a lot of concerns with the Bengals. I want to back them just because I think naturally you get a little bit of a dip in the market after something so awful, similar with the Dolphins. Similar with the Dolphins, I like the Patriots against them too. I don't think this is the right spot to take advantage. So if I had to, I'll take the Broncos. Bo Nix misses a 50-yard pass every week. If you just could hit one of those, you probably cover this. Like, it's insane. This is the biggest offensive line versus defensive line mismatch of the week as well. Broncos, awesome offensive line. Bengals do not really get pressure. Like, you're asking for Nix to drop a bomb. He just actually needs to not be PFF's worst graded quarterback, which he is right now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit different for me. I'm going to be on the under in this game, right? I think I like the under a little bit more. You talked about Bo Nix's struggles. And mind you, if you talk about that game last week, right? I mean, you talk about that Bengals game last week. I'm pretty sure the Vikings had to go like 30 yards on like 3 of their drives to score touchdowns because of how fucking bad they were. They kept turning the ball over on their side of the field. They gave up 2 defensive touchdowns. I'm pretty sure they even had a punt return down to like the 15 where you barely have to do anything. So I understand the Bengals defense was bad, but they were also on the field 95% of the time there, so that obviously doesn't help. My biggest issue is exactly what you talked about. I think this Broncos team would be able to run the ball pretty much whenever they want. I think you get to see a little bit more of the tandem running backs here. I think we get a little bit more of RJ Harvey getting a little opportunity in this type of game, right? Kind of showcase a rookie in this spot. Obviously, J.K. Dobbins has been fantastic, but we know injury history is always there in the back of your head when you talk about him. So I think this is a game where maybe we only see Bo Nix throw the ball 25 times, 26 times, because he has really struggled in these games. He struggled this year. I know you mentioned numbers-wise on PFF. He's really, really struggled. But I just don't know how the Bengals are able to move the ball when you know they have to pass it. They just can't run the football, dude. There's just no space. And then you're going to go up against this Broncos defensive line, which is no joke, and have, like I said, one of probably the best corners in football, taking away one of your 2 best options, and I'm sure the other guy's getting double teamed, right? So that's like, where are we going here? Are we going to the ghost of Mike Gesicki, right? Like, how else are we moving this football? Like, I really have a hard time trusting this Bengals team to really do anything here, because I know Noah Fant is out. I know that doesn't sound like much, but Noah Fant's actually not been horrible. Noah Fant's actually been getting some fantasy points, and he's been a DFS darling on just dump-offs because he's just been grabbing that shit at free money at this point. So that's a big out. I know he's out this game. So now it's Gesicki, Asavas, right? I mean, you're relying on guys that, are a little bit more unproven in this spot. So I think I'll be relying with the under here in this game, and I'll kick it over to my spot here, and that's going to be the Bengals team total under 21.5. Alternate line with Achane 5 catches at plus 110. I'll go with the Bengals because we're talking about it right now. I like I said, don't see a way that they're scoring touchdowns, especially even if they find their way into the red zone. I don't trust Browning to be able to punch those in. And Chase Brown ain't punching it in. Pirine fumbled last week when literally that's the only reason he's on the field is to not fumble, and he fumbles because they kept talking about how Pirine hasn't fumbled in multiple years and then immediately touches the ball and fumbles. But I digress. The announcer jinx is becoming more and more of a thing. But I just don't see how we're getting touchdowns here. And if you do get in the red zone, I think they're kicking field goals. McPherson might have to have one of those, Brandon Aubrey days where he kicks, 8 of them to hit me on this under to get over on me. So that's going to be my first spot. I'm going to roll with Achane, 5 receptions as well. I was looking, and I just didn't think that this was a real stat. Now I've looked on multiple different sources, and the air yards for Devon Achane right now. Stu, what do you think it is? I would love to hear what you think.
Like the percentage of his team's air yards?
Just like what do you think like the total air yards of him are this year? And I'm on FTN right now, so if you want to
just like his total amount of yards, the air
yards. Just
okay.
Air yards.
Like 400 or something?
No, it's negative. It's negative. They throw him behind the line of scrimmage.
Oh, he's not. Oh, you're saying not.
Yeah. Like where he's catching, like the average depth of target, where he's actually catching.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Getting those, it was negative 17, bro. That's absurd, bro. And I know it's kind of screwed me over a couple times on some of the catches because I count him as a rush because he just throws it so far behind him, but it does count for a rush. He's just getting peppered because Tua doesn't want to take a sack and he wants to get into those rhythms, and he has so many design plays for him to get catches in there, which you don't see a ton for running backs, right? It's probably him and McCaffrey, where they're just designing plays to go to him in the passing game. So we've seen 2 games so far this year where he's beat this number, and he had 19 total targets in the 2 games that were close. Obviously, Vegas expects this one to be close. The first game, he did not hit it, and Tua also only completed 14 passes in that game, and he had three of those completions. So I really like the under for Bengals. I think I wanted to find something to play with, and Achane's my guy. So I think this is going to be one of those where you just – same thing with Brown. I feel like Chase Brown's kind of in that same boat right now, right? They're just kind of – we want to get it in their hands, and they're really not running it that well, right? Even last week, Achane, I know, had a couple of those carries that, he was chunk yarding it, but he's only got 30 carries on the year, dude. He got 30 carries on the year, and I believe he has 18 catches. So crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. His receiving usage is insane. I mean, it's absolutely, it's one of a kind, right? You don't see guys outside of him and CMC get priced at 40 receiving yards. You just don't see that. So, nothing really negative to say about it. Obviously, when you get a guy like that, you're going to get him the ball a good amount. And I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball super well on the ground with Achane. Like you said, I think it'll be kind of the fifth, chunk yardage, efficient 12, 10 carries, something like that. But through the air is really where he shines. And Tyreek Hill and Jalen Medical Tent Waddle have been, not dependable this year. So you got to go to the guy that's been good. And Achane, he's been their best player this year, right? Who's been better on offense than Achane? I don't know. I can't think of anyone. I don't think anyone really. So just keep getting him the ball, check down at a time. And yeah, I have no problems with this one at all. He's just a beast right now. He's on my fantasy team. Let's keep getting those receiving, yards. Let's go.
Yeah, and it's tough too because he just gets so many hit or miss games from Tyreek, because they're one of them he's gonna pop, right? And then the other ones you're 5 for 45, right? And it's like, well, how are we moving the ball? It hasn't really been on the ground. I did see somebody talking about Ollie Gordon. That might be something we talk about here in a second. Let me get up there. Let me find where it was. You saw that, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, touchdown, 320. A couple people talked about it.
Ollie Gordon, our guy Foods over there. Ollie Gordon touchdown at plus 320. What's your thoughts on that, dude? I'm curious because I don't see him running the ball between the tackles very well. Achane is a pretty small back. Ollie Gordon is kind of shown in his limited sample size here his ability to run between the tackles.
No, I agree. That's kind of what you bring him in for. You need a bruiser next to Achane, and it makes a ton of sense. And look, last week is a primetime game, and they came out and they ran the ball with Ollie Gordon pretty early and often. They used him between the tackles in a tougher matchup against a better team. Not by much. The Bills are a little bit injured internally as well, but this Jets line is not great either. So yeah, I see a good amount of Gordon opportunity. And what Tyreek Hill said it himself before the freaking season started with like, do you really want to be giving this guy the like 1 yard carries? I mean, he literally said it in the media. He acknowledged it. Like, and I agree with him. And I think Gordon would be the guy that takes those carries away from him. Obviously, Tua is not getting any fucking designed runs. So yeah, I definitely like that a lot. I think it's a good opportunity. And last year, remember, Jonnu Smith would steal some of those. I think the only worry is my boy Malik Washington. He might come.
Yeah, he's been good.
The thing that pisses me off, I might still bet Malik Washington. I need to see where the lines go. Is Waller being back is a little bit annoying. And I know it sounds weird, but like Washington just kind of got that weird Jonnu Smith kind of designed usage from last year. And I'm kind of worried Waller might steal a little bit of that, but I'm not convinced that Waller isn't totally fucking dust. So
like he isn't washed.
I would never bet Waller over. I saw people on it on Twitter at like 10.5 yards. I would never bet that. This dude was a fucking rapper last year, guys. A shit rapper, not even a good one. He didn't even leave his football career for a good rap career. He made a song that everyone made fun of for like a week and a half and forgot about. Like this, if he was a good football player, he'd probably still be on a football team. So I don't know. I got no faith in guys coming back from these extended absences and playing. I think it might take away a couple snaps from my boy Malik, which is annoying. But yeah, I do. Long answer. I do like Ollie touchdown. 320 feels like a very solid price for that. Maybe even like a first touchdown thing if you wanna get aggressive.
Yeah, and I mean, just before we once you go rapping. Your career is over. Well, I know Dame started rapping and then he tore his knee apart. So that is another one to add to that list. Obviously, that's NBA. But
Kadarius Toney as well. He's got a rap career. I saw one of those posts recently. So
oh Christ, I didn't see that, but I'm glad I didn't see that. I guess.
Yeah.
The last thing before I do a recap here and get everybody out of here, we still got 40 of you guys in here. Appreciate you joining us. 47 minutes in. If I'm looking at this slate, right, we're looking at, I'm still playing, I'm dabbling a little bit lightly in the DFS space. These 2 game slates are kind of interesting to me because you have less opportunity for dupes. Am I crazy for just like throwing, all my skill players in this Miami and Jets game and just playing Denver D? You know what I'm saying? Like that game, I feel like that game's going to be just so ugly, bro. So ugly. Yeah. Am I correct? Like, I don't have any lineup built or anything. I have no lineup built or nothing. But like, doesn't that feel kind of wild? Like something that we could, maybe do to, limit the dupes. Because in a 2 game slate, you still have to deal with a lot of these lineups and everything like that. But like, just going like Garrett Wilson, your Fields or Tua, whichever one you want, Waddle, like all of them, and then just saying like that game in the second game is going to be garbage. Obviously, you take Denver's defense because they're the best option available on the slate today. Like, is that crazy? Like, just to be as, different as we can be,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that crazy. I would add in a running back for Denver. I'd go like RJ Harvey as well. Like, if you think an early defensive touchdown shapes the game, they dominate, they make them look bad. Well, guess what? I bet Harvey probably gets the benefit of that in like the second half or in those last couple drives, and he kind of correlates with that. So that would be the one thing or you just think Dobbins continues to cook. They get a couple picks, and Dobbins just goes 18 for 100 and a touchdown, which feels super live tonight as well. But yeah, I don't have any problems with that. I think obviously we both kind of agree that Miami is more the higher scoring game, and the Broncos one has a little bit more kind of ugly, disgusting potential. But I could go the opposite way. I could go Marvin Mims matters. People don't think it does, but it does. Like if he misses, I could go Bo Nix, Troy Franklin, Cortland Sutton, and do a passing attack stack when everyone in the world is going to be on rushing. Because once again, biggest O-line mismatch of the week. The team that does not get pressure. Bo Nix has had clean pockets all year. He'll continue. He's behind the best pass blocking offensive line in football right now. And I think it just takes him actually connecting on a couple of these deep balls. Missed Marvin Mims wide open twice last week down the field. It's ugly. It's shitty. Maybe he'll continue to be the worst quarterback in football, but, I don't know. I think there's a chance he maybe figures it out a little bit. So I think that's just as contrarian. And you have another path to upside there as well. I think you'd also have to pick a weapon on Cincinnati to go off, and good luck doing that. I mean, I don't know. I'm probably more Higgins than Chase though. Even though they're both kind of ugly, I'd probably go Higgins just because I can see Higgins versus Riley Moss 1-on-1. Just get Brown and get it in the 10-yard vicinity. Higgins has got like 6 inches on the guy. Like, it'll make that look easy, So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, one more from me before I think we have a couple. 3 receivers. I'm just looking at this slate right now. We're looking at this slate. We have 3 receivers within $400 of each other. 6,100 Sutton, 6,200 Garrett Wilson, 6,500 Tyreek. You have to pick one. Who are you taking on that?
Garrett Wilson. He's got like a 40% target share, and he's going against my cousin in the secondary. I mean, yeah, they got the white guy back. That's the other thing. Miami's got a white corner, I think. Bonner or something like that. The guy that he went viral for saying that, or Tyreek Hill said he's the only guy that's as fast as him, but he's on the practice squad, so no one really cared. But we got a little fast white corner, so that'll be interesting to watch. You got to root for that. It's rare. You don't see him too often. So, but yeah, point being, like, a lot of weird shit can go on in this game, I think, in both games tonight, honestly, which kind of makes me a little bit excited for him.
Yes, sir. I'm looking through here. I don't see any questions really. Denver defense anytime touchdown. Hendrickson sack. Nothing too crazy on here. More power to you. I know he's gonna be out there. I don't know what the line is, but can't imagine.
I'm on Gesicki today. I'm with it. So you got a friend in me, buddy. You got a friend in me. No Fant. I mean, we'll see what happens. But I will say there's one sneaky, real long shot. He was inactive last week, and if he's inactive, you obviously get your money back. But Tanner Hudson is 35-1 to score a touchdown tonight. If he's active, then he'll probably look a little bit better than 35-1. If he's inactive, you get your money back, no problem. So there you go. Worth a couple bucks, in my opinion.
Sounds good. Stu, let's get through a quick recap here, and we'll get things rolling.
Sounds good. Got Justin Fields over 45.5 rush yards -110. Like I said, numbers kind of been ping-ponging around recently, but I'd played anywhere to 48, 49.5.
Awesome. I'll be playing a little combo here. Bengals team total under 21.5 with Achane 5 catches at +110. Over on DraftKings. Shout out to the white corner, Coop says. Last one, Stu. If you had to pick between those last two, what do we think? Sutton or Tyree?
It's ugly, man. I'd rather just go. I mean, I don't want to play either of them. I guess I'd rather go Tyreek because then I just try to chance it with Troy Franklin. But that depends on this injury status of Marvin Mims once again. So,
okay. So a lot of info on that, right? A lot of info. It's good for people to know as well to be paying attention up until kickoff, right? You don't have to make your bets now. Obviously, play our bets that we have on here now. But when we're looking obviously closer to those long shots, we can't really pick those until we get a little bit more information here. Do you have a long shot, Stu, today, heading into tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta resist playing long shots in these games because they're so fucking ugly. But
they're terrible. I don't have one personally.
Yeah, I have a Mims one, but I don't know if he's gonna play, so I don't want to talk about that. I will say the one thing I have bet so far is Higgins reverse correlation under 4.5 catches over 60 yards at 9-1 right now. I just think that makes sense. Once again, Riley Moss, cornerback too. I think they probably get him in that matchup a couple times. Browning sucks, so it's a little scary. But if you just can get one 20, 30-yard catch or something, you can be pretty live in that one. So that's okay. But
you want me to put it in here?
Yeah, we can fire it. I mean, I'm playing it. So
Higgins under 4.5 catches.
Over 60 yards. It's 9-1 on DraftKings. Probably better on 365, but
everything's better over there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, the problem with this one, the ugly part is that Higgins probably gets, if I had to bet like real money, I'd say he probably gets 2 catches of like 5 yards or less, which is kind of brutal. But 4.5 is a good buffer. Like 3.5 is what I expected. So getting 4.5 means you can still survive that and you can still get that downfield kind of catch. But yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase in the media, they asked him about Higgins, and he said, I've always told Higgins, if you want the ball more, go fucking ask for it. So hopefully he saw that quote and he went and fucking asked for it, right? I mean, I don't know. Like, Higgins is good. He's big. He should be getting used more. And I think it makes sense for a downfield kind of play. So I like the reverse correlation here. Also, there's another backup on this team. I'll probably toss a couple bucks on. Michael Tinsley, I believe is his name. I think he was a Penn State guy, if I'm not mistaken. Played for Washington last year, like 6'4", something like that. Very big. And if you watch the broadcast last week, they were like hyping this guy up. Apparently he like killed it in training camp and like the coaches love him. He even got out there in a couple plays. I have no clue why you'd play this guy over T. Higgins. He's just really bad budget T. Higgins, in my opinion. But if the coaches love him and for whatever reason, he's like 25-30-1 for a touchdown. So that's another guy. He might even not play a snap and you get your money back as well. But that I'll probably toss a couple bucks on him. But I always like to preface those as like those are the ones that are just like these guys are most likely not going to score. I couldn't get it out of my head of those guys hyping him up, which I don't know. Throwing him a touchdown pass over Higgins would be crazy in my opinion. But if he's a preseason guy, yeah, like you said, if he's the coaches love him, then if he gets out there, maybe we got a shot. Who knows? Especially in garbage time, because this game could get fucking ugly as well. And hey, you always got garbage time. So one of those, once again, 30-1. If he's inactive, you get your money back. We'll see what happens.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Stu, you got anything else for the people before we head out today? Obviously, pushing that hour mark. We'll be back Wednesday talking about another phenomenal primetime game. We got another good one there. Hopefully it's, well, I can't really go wrong. At least one of them loses, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, we got 2 games tonight. If you enjoy the show, leave a like, share it, all that good stuff. Go follow me over on Substack. I'm going to have game previews out for tonight. I already have 2 props bet. And, yeah, I got my ass kicked this week. Never going to run from that. But, we're going to have more good weeks than we have bad weeks. And hopefully that starts with tonight. We got 2 bad games, but that doesn't mean we can't make some money off of it. I like making money off bad games. So excited to do that and excited to be back here on Wednesday, hopefully with a very positive, happy show. And then we got to talk about, obviously, a very good Thursday night football game as well. So looking forward.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are we're rolling. I do want to put out there, I did put up a show. It's not done yet. Obviously, I'm going to do it tomorrow. If you want to join me, Stu, you're more than welcome. I got an 8 a.m. I'm going to be popping on here talking MLB postseason. We'll be talking about some of my predictions for the postseason runs here. Phenomenal last day of baseball. I didn't have any bets, but seeing the Blue Jays take down the Yankees in the Yankees-Red Sox first round, that's always fun. Obviously, you get to see a rivalry right away. Brewers possibly could have the Cubs right away after the Padres series. We'll see how that goes. And then obviously the Guardians get in on a walk-off homer. That was really cool to watch as well, watching the Tigers just absolutely fall to shit. And then they have to play them in the first round. So I think that's crazy. It's always fun to watch those and get to see some of those series. So I will be live here in the morning. I believe I put it at 8 a.m. To do that just so I can get that out of the way. Because guess what? Games start at 1, baby. Games start at 1. Playoff baseball is here.
Like tomorrow, there's games on. Oh, wow.
Wild card round, baby.
I forgot how quick it is. Like no break at all.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You play every day in baseball. You get a day off.
You'd think even if you get the wild card,
hangovers out there.
You'd think they'd give them like 3 days or something, a little mini break at least. But I guess you want to carry the momentum. Some teams would. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I've not been watching baseball. I went to the Nats game the other day, just to see the season end.
See the guy do their tip. I saw that on.
Yeah. I was very happy about that. Shout out Bob Carpenter. I mean, for me, I've obviously been sitting in the front of baseball games every single day for my whole life since I was a little kid, And since the Nationals got bought, that was the broadcaster. So it's crazy just seeing the whole journey. Very sad. Obviously, my boy Bob Carpenter will be retiring after this, but I was happy I got the T-shirt, got the scoreboard, the little thing that they were handing out and everything like that. So it was good that he got honored as well from the players and everything like that, because those guys are awesome, So yeah, was definitely happy to be there. Nationals suck. Obviously did not really want to go watch them play actual baseball, but I'm a real fan. I got to go support, the freaking broadcasters. I don't even know if I'd be here if it wasn't for that. I sit in front of the TV every fucking day watching these guys talk. It influences your life, So definitely, hopefully we get a better year next year so I can go to more Nationals game, I guess. Long story short, right? There's also Hello Kitty Day, which is also the funniest thing in the world, by the way. It's just half. It was so funny. It's half like diehard baseball fans, they're honoring. And then there's just like 300 people in just Hello Kitty gear, like full on, like crazy outfits and stuff. You're just like, what? Gotta love it. Gotta love baseball, whatever the fuck this is,
Yeah, the Brewers did like the alumni home run derby on the same day as Pokemon Go Day. So that was an interesting one there. So
yeah.
It was about the same thing. And the home run derby was sold out.
Yep.
But there were still people getting that shirt. They get that Pokemon Go shirt ready to go. So, but yeah, I'll be on here live 8 a.m. tomorrow Central Time. Stu, if you want to join, talk some baseball, you're more than welcome to join me. I'm going to be talking and hopefully getting some questions. Obviously, it's going to be a fun show. And hopefully we get to see the Brewers take it down, dude. I would love nothing more. I would do it for – I would probably take the Brewers win probably over any other team, honestly, in Wisconsin, right? Obviously, the Bucks getting that dub was awesome, and I was there for that. I was out in the parking lot for that. That was awesome to be there as another smaller market team. But to be the 30th on a 30th payroll, hopefully Ananasio would retire after that and sell the team to someone and have a guy who want to spend more fucking money. But, yeah, should be fun. Excited. Baseball postseason's here, and obviously we got NFL to talk. So have a good one, guys. Best of luck. We'll be back on Wednesday. So that'll be, should be regular time. I should be good. We should be ready to roll for our normal Wednesday show. So have a good one, guys. Best of luck. And we will see you on Wednesday talking Rams and 49ers. Have a good one, guys.